As a child, the only part of the day that I personally looked forward to was when I arrived at home from school, turned on television, turned on the channels Star Movies, MNX, MN Plus, Sony Pix, started watching a random action movie, English action movie, did not understand a word of it, but they were genuinely so much fun. And surprisingly, I felt something of the sorts today. I felt the same fun that the 8-year-old Keyur had experienced, basically, when he was watching the action movie that he did not understand a word of, but felt. This is KK Success Reviews, and you're watching the review of the movie The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. What a long name, man. So the story centers around an old, for the lack of better words, dogmatic, irrelevant, broken Nick Cage, who is also suffering through his midlife crisis, and the industry that once thrived on him has now turned its back on him because he has suddenly turned irrelevant. So he has been forced to accept the small gigs that he gets in order to get the money flowing, because he is heavily in debt, which is so fucking meta, by the way. This has happened to Nick Cage in real life as well, if you don't know. um, and how one day he gets a call for such a small birthday gig, where he has to go on an island which is owned by Pedro Pascal, and then we see the shit that goes down at the island, and this is basically all the story. I won't spoil much because it ruins the fun. Let's talk about the acting. While watching this movie and while writing the review of this movie, I just had one name in my mind, which was Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage has redeemed himself in this movie, and by no means am I discrediting all the acting of other people like Pedro Pascal for that matter. I am an absolute fan of Pedro Pascal, but in this one, Nicolas Cage is exceptionally good in this one. And of course, Sharon Hogan is as usual beautiful. I just wish I was born 30 years ago. Not that I had a chance, but I love Sharon Hogan, is what I mean to say. Then comes the screenplay. The screenplay of this movie is very fun. The screenplay of this movie is very smartly written. My least favorite part about the screenplay was the first act. The first act revolves around an old fart dogmatic Nick Cage and how these two things affect his personal and professional life. The second act of this movie, I won't spoil much, is like an adventure comedy, and the third act of this movie is like a proper summer blockbuster that we saw as a kid, that I saw as a kid. So what I mean to say by this is the screenwriters have very smartly divided the three acts of this movie into three different genres of movie. The first genre is the first act, which is like a character study of Nicolas Cage. The second act of this movie is like an adventure comedy, and the third act of this movie is like a proper summer blockbuster. The first act is boring, second act is fun, and third act is fun and tense as fuck. I mean, this movie was supposed to be fun for me, and I went in with the expectations of it being just fun, but when it starts being tense, this movie is very tense and in a very fun way. So that's all I had to say about the screenplay, because I won't. The more I say, the more I spoil. So I won't spoil much. This movie is all about the experience, and I say that a lot in my reviews. So yeah, that's about the screenplay. And again, this movie screams of Nick Cage. So you'll definitely enjoy this more if you have been a fan of Nick Cage or you have been a fan of the summer blockbusters. But in itself as well, this movie is a very good one-time watch. It's definitely one of the most fun times I have had in recent times. And yeah, that's the overall verdict from me for this movie. This was KK Success Reviews signing off. Till the next time we see each other, stay healthy, keep smiling, keep rocking. Until then, I guess, see you at the movies.